Alrighty, beautiful people, we got a fun one for you today. 10 mistakes rookie gym owners make. And frankly, we see this with a lot of not so rookie gym owners, Dave, right? Like we see this with folks that have been in the industry for decades at times. But it's 10 mistakes rookie gym owners make that are keeping you stuck and holding you back. And you don't deserve to be held back, you beautiful, lovely, freaking human being specimen, you. We want you to be able to overcome these mistakes. We are diving into all of them with a bonus at the end. And number 10, Dave, we've looked at these. Number 10 might hit a little close to home, right? It might sting a little bit. So make sure you hang around.
Welcome to the Gym Member Machine Podcast.
Rookie mistake number 1. This one hits close to home for me because I definitely did it. And it was fun. I was on Vince Gabriel's podcast. I think it was yesterday, maybe a couple days ago. And he mentioned this, just talking about, I was like, this is such a good, like, I feel like every meathead gym owner has gone through this, but mistake number 1 is you spend all your stinking money on new toys and you spend none of the money on the thing that's going to get you more money, which is getting new clients in the door. My favorite examples for this, what do you new toys? It's like I had a rogue reverse hyper attachment thing that I needed to have because I was so, posterior chain, athlete development, Louis Simmons, Joe DeFranco, Westside Barbell, this is how people get faster and stronger, blah, blah, blah. Dude, that thing was a freaking water bottle stand for the entirety of the life in the gym. Vince Gabriel famously talks about his belt squat stories, right? You had to have the belt squat and everything else, and spend zero money on thinking about actually getting new customers, right, when he was starting off. And I think both of us started off a lot slower in our gym owner journeys because we spent so much of our money on new fancy things that the meathead in us thought was we need this cool toy that frankly we just didn't need for the gym. Right? Like you and your buddies, your James Pratts and your Mike Bakers and everything, the Connor Flayhives and the CJ Appenzellers, name drop everybody. You can get people really good. If you're a good enough coach, you can get people really, really great results with really, really, really basic shit. Yeah? Do we need evidence there, Dave, to make the gym do I really need I don't know, what are the fancy toys now? The freaking belt squat just comes to mind, right? It takes up so much space, and it's you got one person at a time. The reverse hyper was such a good example for me. I think having stuff. I'm going to give this example first, and then maybe we can get into do we have to convince you, dear gym owner, that's probably if you're an independent, you're a training nerd first. Do I have to convince you that you can get people really great results with freaking a couple dumbbells, right? Could you do that? Could you get somebody really, really great results with a couple dumbbells? Probably so. Or a couple of adjustable dumbbells, okay, so you can change loading or whatever. I would argue highly yes. My thought process, if I was going to open a gym here in 2026, when it comes to equipment, I find that things that are A, expensive, B, used rarely, okay, that's one of the most important points, C, only used by one person at a time, and D, super complicated to change. So if you've got a reverse hyper and you've got people at different levels, you've got one, you're typically only going to have one unless you're Westside, right? You're only going to have one of those things in the gym. It's a little bit annoying to load, right? You got to take off the plates and you got to do this, that, and the other. So it's hard to get people rotating through to get some efficiency there. I think those things are just frankly stupid to have in group training gyms. I'm calling, and if you get butthurt about it, dear gym owners, I'm calling myself stupid, right? These are stupid decisions that we can make. You can be nice and say less than optimal decisions, but I just don't think there's any use for that in your gyms. It's going to end up taking up space and not making your life any easier, right? Do we need to get into the results thing? Do we feel like we need to unpack that at all? Do you have examples you'd like to share from your life as a gym owner and touring gym enthusiast?
Yes, I do like to tour all of the gyms in and around the greater Austin area. So my thought on this is that for most of the folks who listen to this, if they're running either one-on-one or small group, most of their folks are not super advanced. As we've talked about many times, marketing to the 30-ish to 60-ish beginner is the way to make the most money. Just like James Pratt says, that's everybody. And if they're looking at garage gym reviews YouTube channel, or if they're super into equipment, or if they're coming to you for equipment, they're probably not paying for coaching. They're just paying for space use. And that's not the training gyms that we specialize in, and we're charging the $300, $400, $500 per month. So I think with these beginner Gen Pop folks, not to use that as a derogatory term, their level of fitness is going to scale with the equipment they need, and their skill level at just movement in general will get better. So at first, you might have Sally just doing like a split squat, and she's going to be toast. She's going to be super sore from that. And then over time, she gets a little more stable. Maybe she holds on to something, but you can scale that up with a dumbbell to the moon, and she might never hit her max with that. So just physiologically, I do think it is not necessary. And like you said, a lot of it is shiny object syndrome. I think some of this comes from when very fit trainers open gyms, they are maybe bodybuilders or have a hypertrophy focused program. And so they love machines, and they're like, oh, I'm going to train my people like I train. I love going to bodybuilding gyms. And if I only had the prime fitness hack squat, then Sally would get the results she deserves. But that's just not true. And it's going to cost too much money. Like you're saying here, take up too much space. If you're trying to open an 1,800 square feet, like it's just not worth it when you could use that space for, a physio ball or a Swiss ball, some dumbbells and an incline bench. And you'll give Sally as much training as she needs for her whole life.
Yeah, I think this is almost a bonus mistake that we don't have in the list. It's like plan out what you think your training philosophy is going to be beforehand and what your model needs to be, how many people are going to be in sessions at a time, et cetera, et cetera. And then you build the gym, right? Build the equipment around that. So this like the single pod or even a multi-pod model at this stage, you see these gyms, you see the Connor Flayhives and the CJs and the Joe Meglios and Devin Gages and so on and so forth. It's like they've got their stuff where it's like, dude, we can have everybody do everything they need to do in their little station. Is it pretty basic stuff? Yes. Are they still getting people great results? I would argue absolutely yes. And yeah, you just don't need all the toys. The other side of this, right? When we talk about spending all the money on all the toys, which just so happen to typically be way more expensive, is you don't put any more money into acquiring new customers, which turns out that's the way you're going to be able to get paid and stay in business. I'm not telling you that you have to work with GMM and have to put money into paid ads, but you can take that budget and do I think that's probably one of the more intelligent places to put it? Freaking absolutely, right? But could you put it into maybe a referral program for the gym where now you have some money to pay clients for referrals? Could you put it into other things, local things, like whatever it is? Yes, but the point is not necessarily the medium in which you are marketing. The point is to have something in place where you are focusing on getting new customers freaking in the door, right? It's just mind-boggling to that. Like, what's going to keep you in business? Is it going to be the equipment or the marketing and getting new people in the door, right? Because I'm here to tell you, your equipment is not going to get people in the door in a coaching facility, right? You guys aren't spending the multiple millions of dollars. I know there's stuff going viral on social media now with the big mega gyms where people are putting freaking millions into really cool, like influencer driven things. Number one, I'd be curious to see if any of those places are still in business in 3, 5, 7 years, right? Because I've seen really cool facilities like that go down in my local communities, both back in the gym days in Minnesota and here in San Antonio. Number two, one of the nice things about not starting with all of the fancy shiny toys is you can then strategically upgrade things later, right? Because if you get all the fancy stuff right away and you have all the bells and whistles, there's nowhere to go really but down. And so like Connor, I remember having this conversation with Connor and I was like, this is really smart. So Connor would start, I don't remember what it was, like say he had his pods, and then in a year, what he would do is he would plan on getting Airdyne bikes or whatever. Say it was that, okay, for the gym. Well, now you've got an excuse. If you want to add that cardio component a year in or what have you, well, now you have a spot to go up. You've got room for new toys in the budget. And it just so happens like after you've actually created proof of concept and got some cash flow happening in the business, so that investment is a lot less of a hit on you than it would have been otherwise. But it shows members that you care. It gives you room to upgrade things over time. It doesn't have to be getting 6 Airdyne bikes or whatever for the gym or 6 ski ergs, like whatever it may be. It could be something else, but it gives you room to move things up. I would start infinitely more basic than I started in the first gym, which is somewhat ironic because it was like a pretty Spartan environment to start. And yeah, I think I would have been way more successful if I had done that. So that's mistake number one. You spend all your money on toys and none of the money on the thing that actually is going to get you more money. I think this is a Dan Kennedy quote that Vince brought up on the podcast. When you spend money on marketing, you're effectively buying money at a discount, which is a really, really smart way to think about marketing. So do that. Thing number two, also kind of on the setting up the gym for the first time and setting up the culture and everything else, it kind of leaning into marketing, is you try to be everything to everyone. You say, well, that sounds like it's a smart thing, right? I want to work with people. I want to get more clients, everything else. Now, here's the deal. The riches are in the niches, bitches. And that is the correct way to say niche. Don't sit here and tell me niche. Why? Because number one, it sounds weird. It rhymes with quiche instead of rich. And I feel like rich is a better thing to rhyme with than quiche. Who likes quiche? I'm just saying. People are scared of niches. I get it. I get the psychology. Dude, I don't have any clients right now. I'm just getting started. Like, how I'm going to limit myself now from the whatever, however many people are in your 7 to 10 mile radius, 5 to 7 mile radius, whatever it is. I'm going to limit myself even further and say that I'm going to be the gym for busy adults over 40 or whatever it may be. Like, that feels scary to me. I get it. I hear you. Also, like, we've now seen it work hundreds of freaking times where, look, guys, you don't need 10,000 members in your gym to do okay. Like, gyms are ridiculously profitable in a lot of cases at 120, 130, 150 members nowadays, right? Even if you've got more capacity, most gyms are doing really, really well. Again, profitability wise, I'm not talking about, any of the vanity numbers. When they get to 200 members, that's a very, very small subset of your market. You say, okay, well, I guess I don't need that many people, that high of a percentage of people in my area to have a really, really great, thriving gym. That's cool. Why else should I limit myself and niche down? Well, from a marketing perspective, increased specificity equals increased believability, particularly when coupled with proof, content, etc., that also matches and is congruent and consistent, all those fun words, with the specificity that you are trying to communicate to the market. I think this was I like to give credit where credit's due. I think I heard the concept on a Hermosi video. It might have been a Cialdini book, one of those things. I was talking with Chad about it, trying to create attributions. Well, I don't really know, but it was Chad's idea to call it the proximity. What is it? The proof proximity ladder. I've never heard that concept before. Like, I should trademark that because it was my AI that gave it to me. But the proof proximity ladder, and here's the concept. It's basically the closer you get to actually helping the specific individual that you help in your marketing, the higher you are up the ladder, the more valuable that proof or that marketing messaging, etc., is. How does this play out in the real world? Well, in the real world, you start off, and I don't know if the episode where we kind of talked about, we audited a gym's marketing that was very much trying to be everything to everyone. You start off like that gym, okay? Not great. Where you say, we help everybody do everything. We work with, whether your goals are to be an elite collegiate athlete or to blah, 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 and anything and everything in between, any ages, all ages, sizes, ability levels, like, you want it, we got it. It's nutrition, it's this, it's that, and the other, everything else. Like, okay, we help humans with fitness. You're like so far down on the ladder there of proof. You're just so far away from helping the individual, because we're not marketing to markets. We are marketing to an individual, right? We're trying to get an individual on the other side of your screen, the phone, whatever, to take an action and move forward with you in your business. And this applies to every business. You're so far away from that person at this point, specificity wise, that it almost means nothing to them. It's just noise. So then let's move another rung up the ladder. Oh, we help women lose weight. Okay, cool. Like, if I'm a woman on the other side of the screen, you're getting a little bit more specific for me. Let's move up another rung. Oh, I help, women between the ages of 40 and 60, da da da. All right, like, that's interesting. Move up another level. Oh, here's a woman that was like my age in my profession, like it's a video success story, like testimonial. They're dealing with the same stuff I am. They've got the same number of kids I do, whatever, like all these things. Like, oh, we're moving up even higher. Like that's pretty high on the level of specificity. You've helped someone almost exactly like me achieve the exact result that I'm trying to achieve. That's a pretty powerful thing. And then the highest level on the ladder is when you actually like help the person for free, right? You get them some sort of result for free, which it's harder to do in marketing. It's not necessary, right, to get great results with your marketing. It's just, you know, when we talk about proof proximity, if we can help a gym owner for free, if they take some of these things and we have helped them make more money, the person on the other side of the screen, they are more likely to give us money later and become customers because we've already helped them with our free stuff, right? That's the highest level of proof that you can get, is when you actually help the individual on the other side of the screen achieve, you know, some little micro piece, sometimes big pieces of their desired result in your marketing. The other side of this, when we talk riches in the niches, from a service perspective, is it easier to really dial in the product and simplify the operations and get your trainers in your team that you will eventually want to hire if you don't want to be doing all the sessions really, really freaking world class at the service when you are focused on, you know, one or two key ICPs, key ideal client profiles, client avatars, whatever terminology you want to use? Like, I would argue hell freaking yes, right? Like one of the reasons, if I was opening a gym again, and I love training the athletes like that, I miss that more than I miss probably anything about being in the gym, right? I just like loved working with the kids. It was so much fun for me. Everything else, I love working with the adults too, but it's like there was something about working with the kids. But if I was going to do it again, and I'm not just made of money, right? I'm doing this as a thing that I want to have put food on the table for my family and deliver me a return on my investment, right? For this gym, I'm not going to have a gym for the athletes at this point, right? Why? Well, you know, all the other reasons we already talked about from a marketing perspective, but also from a complexity perspective, what I found was it took a different type of coach to be able to, like, the people that were great with the adults weren't always people that I could put in front of the athletes and give the athletes great service, right? And vice versa. The service type that you're providing, right? For us at the time, you can make the argument that, hey, we're going to do whatever, James Pratt, semi-private, custom programming and what have you. And because we're customizing everything, maybe we can do that for the athletes just as well as we can for our over 50 person. Like if you've got the operation for that, more power to you. What I've found is that you're probably going to have different programming. You're going to have people, you know, be able to know different movements. You might need to have different equipment potentially, right, to work with that population and actually get clients in. Like there's all these variables, and it's just easier to get your team, right, to train humans to be really, really good at training other humans when you're worried about one subset of humans, one type of delivery model, et cetera, as opposed to trying to have all these different service types. Really the same thing can be applied to having large group, small group, et cetera, because if you're training a large group session, someone that's a life of the party type coach that can train 20 people and have them have a great time, all those fun things, they may not be great at, say, one-on-one training. If you have that as a part of your offering, right? They may not be able to resonate with your clientele in that setting like they can a large group setting, and vice versa once again. So simplicity, you will never regret making the business more simple, right? Your future self will never regret your current self making things simpler for them in the future. You will not have less money, right? You will not have more headaches, right? It is the complete opposite of that. So simplify. Number one, you'll make more money. Your marketing will be more effective. You can focus your efforts less, right? You don't have to market now to two populations. You can market to just one. Hey, you're going to be able to dial in that messaging better, and the service can be better. Like this is, I wish someone had shouted this from the rooftops at me when I was getting started, because it's just like, it makes too much sense to ignore. Fair on that one? Anything you want to unpack there?
That was perfect. Crushed it.
All right, number 3. This is going to be a quickie. We've talked about this before. I think we talked about it in the Sam versus Be Sam Not Frodo podcast. But you make content, again, still related to the marketing side, you make content that either you or other trainers are going to think is cool, and not stuff that your target market is going to think is cool, right? Again, this is a rookie mistake. It's related to sort of the meatheadery, and you want the toys and you want, I want all the cool stuff and what have you. And then maybe you're in some trainer circles, you're doing some continuing education for you got buddies in the industry, and you say, man, I'm going to put out content and my buddies follow me. I want to make sure my buddies think like my trainer stuff is super smart. Guess what? Your buddies are never going to give you a check, right? Sorry to say this. And so you want to make stuff that resonates with your target market. If you're going to put the effort into content, you are spinning your wheels and wasting your time if you're not doing things that your target market actually cares about. Okay, I don't even know, Dave, if there's more that we have to go into there. It's a mistake we see all the time. Maybe we can let them, go watch the Sam versus Frodo episode for more on that. But it's just a killer mistake. How do you do this for your target market? Well, you talk to your target market. Right? What questions are they asking you? What objections are you getting in sales conversations? What conversations are you having after sessions? Hey, like I'm sort of feeling this, or you know what? My bat wings have been bothering me for ages. Like, what do I do about that? Well, that could be a piece of content now that you put in your social media. Are your trainer buddies going to care about bat wings? Are they going to are you going to tell yourself a story in your head that your buddies are going to make fun of you when you call it bat wings, right? As opposed to, long head of the tricep, whatever. Like, speak in the language that your target market cares about, because I guarantee you, if you say, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, Dave. Was it the long head? Is that going to be like a thing? Am I getting closest to like accurate there? Okay, all right. So let's say if I do a video and say my target market is primarily women that are 40 to 60. Okay. If I say, is the long head of your triceps a problem for you? That's a way worse hook than like, sick and tired of having bat wings. Like, here's 3 things you can do about it, right? That's going to resonate. That's the person on the other side of the screen that is the one that has the potential of giving you the money is going to be more likely to watch the second video, even though it was maybe scientifically incorrect and maybe your trainer friends would think it was less cool, like whatever it is. Like, you can laugh your way to the bank on that. So make stuff that your target market thinks is cool, not stuff that you think or that your trainer buddies are going to think is cool. Big mistake we see all the time. Thing number 4, another one that we've unpacked in previous episodes, but we just see it too often to not include on this list. You're scared of free because you watched some video on social media, or you heard some so-called guru in the industry say to not devalue your services, and you shouldn't be doing anything for free. And I think it is one of the stupidest freaking mistakes that you can make. Why am I saying stupid? Do I think you're stupid, dear gym owner? If you're somebody that has been afraid of doing free, no. I am blaming the guru overlords at the top of the industry that should know better but don't, right? So I'm not calling you stupid, I'm calling them stupid, but by God, do I think it is just fucking heinously stupid to not harness the power of free, particularly when you're getting started. Although we've seen in James's episode, like, arguably the most successful single location, now he's opening number 3 soon. So arguably one of the most successful gym owners on planet Earth has harnessed the power of free to immense success, to the extent that is higher and further along in the universe than 99.9999999999999% of gym owners ever. Why do we say not harnessing the power of free is a massive mistake? Number 1, it's the easiest thing for prospects to say yes to. So when you're starting off, you need people in the door. You need butts in seats, right? You need feedback. You need opportunities. Offering people things for free is one of the best ways to create those opportunities for yourself with a low barrier, something that's easy to say yes to, that gives you a high chance of people actually coming in the door and trying the service. What happens when they come in and try the service? Well, number 1, you get feedback from said prospects, right? A lot of times when you're starting off, if you're a true rookie gym owner, like, you may not really know what good looks like just yet. Right. And maybe you can make the argument, I can be a little bit more gracious to our audience and say, hey, maybe you know what good looks like, but maybe you don't know what your target market thinks is really good. And if you want to have your gym be as successful as possible, both financially and in changing the lives of the population that you are called to serve, like, you need to do stuff that resonates with them. And one of the best ways to do that is to get feedback from your clientele on how to make the service more enjoyable, more relevant to them, help them have a better experience, get better results so that they stay, pay, refer, all those things. So you get feedback from them, you implement on the feedback. All of a sudden, you've got a better service, you've got happier prospects, you've got more of these members that are converting, they're referring more of their friends, all those things, right? Because these people that come in for free aren't free forever. I'm not telling you to offer your services free for a year to every single person that'll take you up on it. I'm not saying that at all, right? What I'm saying is get these prospects in, probably for a more aggressive free offer than you feel comfortable. Like go one notch up from what you feel comfortable with, up to a month, absolutely free. Again, if you're like freaking out at that, go watch the 908 members out of a single location episode with James Pratt. We'll probably link that in the show notes here. But these prospects have a chance to A, turn into social proof for you, which will make your marketing more powerful. B, turn to referrals, right? Which are everybody's favorite types of prospects. And then 3, you got a chance to convert those people into paid members, right? Like it's a nice thing all the way around. I think it's just, again, the whatever, the guru fitness business education industrial complex, I think has done such a disservice to gym owners in harping on why free is such a bad idea. And I think it's just a terrible thing for the industry for them to keep, it's like, maybe they should watch the James Pratt episode and maybe they'll change their tune, because James is more successful than anybody that's ever been in any of their mentorship programs, and probably more successful than any of the gurus that are spewing the bullshit too, right? Maybe they should look at that. Anything else on the free piece?
I think you nailed it, and I like because even you, as one of the gurus, had your mind changed through a growth mindset through James's experience. And so I think a lot of the stuff out there in the guru world is like, all right, we got to sell these gym owners something, a hope and a dream. And even if we don't really have proof for this, it just feels like saying, okay, if you discount your service, you're not valuing yourself. I think that's one of the messages that goes out there. So I love that you're promoting like what James has found through multi-million-dollar experiments of, oh, this actually works in the real world, and hopefully we can start to change that narrative.
Yeah, and to be clear to the gym owners that are listening, so, well, that sounds like an N of one, right? That could just be a magical unicorn. Like, no, so I was always a proponent of, 14-day, 7-day free VIP passes, things like that. We've seen, again, independent gyms grow from 1 to 5 to 10 plus locations where the primary client getting mechanism was like a 2-week free trial. Like, this is not a rare thing for us to see. Where James really broke me on this stuff was getting super aggressive and doing month-long free trials for people and having it just be wildly successful, and doing that over time and not just at like micro finite pockets of the gym's timeline, right? The gym's existence, if you will. So yeah, to not use the power of free, there's just too much evidence out there now for me to say, don't do it. And again, I know we say this is going to, to rookie gym owners. This is absolutely applicable to folks that are not in the rookie part of the journey. They may just not be doing as well as they should be. There's just too much evidence to let the fear mongering around free hold you back from using that to get more feedback, get more bodies in the gym, et cetera, et cetera. So don't make mistake number 4. That said, let's move on to number 5. You ignore past clients and unconverted leads. This is a big one that we see. It's really honestly pretty surprising to me, because we'll get new clients at GMM that are relatively successful. And it's like, when's the last time you ran a reactivation campaign? Well, shit. Right? That might be something we want to do. GR, what's a reactivation campaign? So a reactivation campaign, this can be something that goes to past clients. It can go to your never been clients, right? It's basically just an offer that you send out to folks that is meant to get people off of, freaking name and email on your list and into a prospect that's actually having a conversation with you and or trying out your gym, right? Whether it's coming back to the gym after a hiatus, right? It's been a breakup and now, you're having a first date again, or if it's somebody that just never moved forward, they opted in, months, sometimes years ago. We see this with our gyms all the time. where we'll run a reactivation campaign for our gyms. This is part of the service that we do for you as a client of GMM. Just so you know, it's not just paid ads, right? We'll help you with reactivations and help you strategize around them and things like that. Really, like we've been killing it with reactivations for our gyms lately. It's just getting people off of your list and into your gym, right? And when we ignore that, it's I think it's a Dan Kennedy thing where he talks about diamonds in your own backyard. Like, dude, there are diamonds in your backyard. Like those names and emails that you're just letting sit and fester and wither away and die. Like those are all humans that could potentially be members of your gym. Like send them an offer. Ideally, use an offer lever that is strong enough to move. I've used this analogy in the past on the show as well, where it's like those names and emails, if you can picture them being like really, really big, huge boulders that would be impossible for even you, dear listener, with your massive strength and incredible fucking posterior chain explosiveness to move this boulder on your own. Like, they're stuck there, right? You cannot move this boulder without an offer lever that is big enough and aggressive enough, maybe free, like we just talked about, to get them to break inertia and start movement towards doing business with you and your gym. If we don't do that, you're just leaving money on the table, and it's one of the easiest ways to get new customers very quickly. Do reactivation campaigns, right? Don't ignore past clients and unconverted leads. Another thing psychologically with past clients, dude, there's a lot of cases where if you're really good at what you do, your clients miss you and they want to come back. They've just got that weird like breakup psychology. Like they feel weird about reaching back out because they kind of feel guilty about having canceled in the first place. And I'm like, I don't know, like I want to go back. Like I missed that gym, but like they're going to be mad at me because I left and I canceled. Like, dude, no. Right? Like we've got to let these people know that we're going to be thrilled, because we like money and we like to help you. And so we would love to take your money and help you again. And so if you can make it not weird for the prospect, reach out with an offer, reach out with an olive branch. A lot of times those people will come back in. And you know, our playbook for this, like typically we'd say anywhere from every 4 to 8 weeks, you're going to run a reactivation campaign. If you have multiple populations that we're serving, because you set up your gym before you heard this advice, like you can go a little bit more frequent where you're sending offers to your different populations a little bit more frequently than that. But it's basically just give them an excuse, give them something that's easy to say yes to get back into the gym. You're going to make more money and be happier and have a more successful gym, be helping more people when you do. Fair?
I like the overcoming the canceled client breakup psychology point. I don't know if I've ever heard it phrased that way. And yeah, the limiting belief that they might have is like, oh, they're going to be mad. But really us as gym owners, we're like, no, we really want and need your money. Please come back. So I love that.
Yeah, they just need you to make it cool for them to do, because your prospects or your former clients, like they're going to be some of them that absolutely feel that way, guaranteed. You're never going to get them to admit it, but if you can reach out with something, get them to say yes, you know, hey, we miss you, like God forbid you send a personalized video message to that person, right? Mention something personal to them, invite them back. Worst case scenario, right? Hey, come in, see the gym again, see what changes we made, whatever. You get some things and get a little tune up here before summer, right? Depending on when you're listening to this. Here in the new year, whatever the time period freaking is. Best case scenario, yeah, like we'd love to have you join, but there's no obligation to continue after you're free, whatever, right? You want to call it. We good for number 6, Dave? You follow up too slow or not at all. I'm not going to harp on this because I think the episode that we've released an episode on how to get more leads to book and show. I don't know exactly what the title is going to be. But my God, like I see this with, like I saw it with the gym that I now love. I've got my parents going to, everything else, right? The CrossFit gym that I've talked about, but like there was no follow up whatsoever. And I just want to shake the gym owner that I love so much, right, on the other side, and be like, you got to follow up with your leads. The marketplace is too competitive at this stage for you to not be doing that, particularly like if you're spending money on paid ads and you are not following up with your leads quickly and comprehensively and continuously over time. You don't have the triforce of speed, quantity, and quality. Go watch the book does not equal show, whatever. We'll put that link in the show notes too. Episode that goes down the complete playbook on what great follow-up looks like, how to get more leads to book, more leads to show up so you can make more money, make more sales, and help more people. But gosh, it is one of the biggest mistakes that we see, where it's like you opt in on the website, maybe you get an email email the freaking next day. Like, it's just ridiculous. You are burning $100 bills on fire. Arguably, you're burning even bigger bills, because if you're good at what you do, gosh, like a really low LTV for a gym, like say you're charging $150 a month, which would be very, very low prices at this stage. And say you're really kind of shitty at what you do and you've got 10% churn, right? Which would be also pretty shitty at that stage. That's still $1,500 every client, right? 150 divided by 10% churn equals a $1,500 theoretical lifetime value for that client. So when you don't follow up quickly, even if you have really, really bad numbers, you are at minimum lighting $1,500 bills on fire. And that does not sound like fun to me. So please follow up with speed, quantity, quality, get those people to show up. Use our playbook for that, the episode that we released probably a few weeks ago by the time you're listening to this. Check the show notes, and do not make mistake number 6. Now, number 7. I think we've talked about this in other conversations as well, but it bears repeating. You make your sales conversations, and really, in some cases, your marketing messaging about the product and not the prospect. Right? So what do you mean by that? Well, the product is the gym. It could be your training model. It could be the equipment, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the biggest mistakes we see, I've audited at this point like thousands of gym sales calls. And one of the things that immediately I'm just like, oh no, like this is going to be terrible, is you've just opened the conversation. The person might give you a little bit of a goal. Oh yeah, I'm looking to, get stronger and lose weight. Okay, cool. Well, let me tell you about what we do here at My Gym Fitness. So we're a 2,500 square foot facility. We do small group personal training. We have XYZ, squat racks and dumbbells for you, a personalized plan, this, that, and the other. Sessions are 6-to-1 coach to client ratio. Like, you make it all about the product, and literally the only information you have about the prospect is their freaking name and whatever like initial platitude they gave you at the beginning of the call. Like, it's awful. The more people feel understood, the more likely they are to buy. And you cannot understand your prospect unless you make the conversation about the prospect first. I reviewed, this was great on our Tuesday sales coaching call. Shout out to Brian Love at One Fitness. Those guys are crushing, no surprise. They're open in the middle of opening their second location now, just completely transformed their business. And he wanted us to review one of his calls, and it was just a masterclass in getting curious, asking questions about the prospect. It was just beautiful. And by the end of the conversation, he knew so much about the prospect, and the prospect felt so understood. It didn't matter what the freaking product was, right? But the way good sales works is, in order to have a great freaking sales conversation, you have to understand what the prospect's problems, what their hopes and dreams are, what they want to achieve, et cetera, et cetera. And then, and only then, once you understand where they are and where they're trying to go, do you have the right to insert your products or service as the vehicle to help get them there. Right? If you insert the vehicle right away and you don't know where they're trying to go, it's like you're trying to sell a car road trip to a vacation in Hawaii. Right? Like, I don't think there's a road that's going to get you there, dude. Like, you're in the wrong vehicle, right? You're selling me the completely wrong vehicle here. You don't understand me or what my goals are at all. Like, I'm off the call. I'm never buying from you again. And I'm honestly kind of pissed off because you didn't take the time to understand what the hell I needed from you. Like, this just makes sense, but it's a mistake that I see all the time. I'm talking about Vince a lot because we just talked a couple days ago. Like, he admitted this, right? Like, when it came to his marketing, he said, yeah, like, I saw a pretty big name trainer. This is 15 whatever years ago when he started his gym. So there was this pretty big name trainer that I followed, and on his website he had like the list of equipment on the website, right? Like, we have 4 squat racks and 2 this and 3 Eleiko barbells and this, that, and the other. It's like, dude, people don't care. Like, well, that's a pretty good flex, right? I think those things are pretty expensive, but shit, no one cares about that. Right? The prospect does not care about that. We need to make the prospect feel understood. We need to make our conversation, our marketing, etc., about the problems that your prospect has, their hopes and dreams, right? We need to make them feel understood in order for them to feel comfortable with whatever solution you end up presenting. Okay, so make your sales about the prospect and the person on the other side of the table, and not the product, because the product doesn't freaking matter nearly as much as rookie gym owners tend to think it does. I feel I feel like I've been talking at you. Again, we all make this mistake. The purpose of this is to try to help you, shave a few years, maybe a couple freaking decades off of the mistakes that we made over the years, Dave. So the loving gym owner ears and listeners on the other side don't have to deal with them. That fair?
That's fair. This ties back. Number 7 ties back to number 1. If you can make your coaching, sales, marketing about prospects, then you don't have to buy or worry about as many products, right? They'll come in for dumbbells and benches and a whole lot of tender love and care and joy in their life and great coaching. And then prospect-driven gyms can save money on products.
It probably relates to freaking more of the numbers too. Like really, it's a great way to just think about the business as a whole. So great point there. Number 8. This one's going to make the earballs of our dear listeners maybe twinge a little bit, might make the buttholes pucker ever so slightly. You don't know your numbers. This is a big mistake that we see, not just gym owners. Guys, I know lots of business owners out there in the world. Guess what? Like, they ain't always the best at knowing their numbers either, but you don't know your numbers, okay? You can't win the game if you don't know how the heck to score. You can't win the game if you don't know where the scoreboard freaking is. I'll make it really simple for you, okay? So what do you mean by know your numbers? Everybody says know your numbers. First thing, on the marketing front, we'll start there. On the marketing front, you need to know what you spent on your marketing. You need to know how many leads you got. You need to know of those leads, how many people booked. You need to know of those people who booked, how many people actually showed up for whatever the appointment is. You need to know of how many of however many of those people showed up, how many of them actually bought from you. If you're selling a front-end offer, some sort of trial offer, etc., you want to know how many of those people took you up on the trial. Okay, if you're selling directly into memberships, it could just be showed and closed, right? Closed meaning they bought a member. If you're doing a trial type of offer, then it would be front-end offer / trials, and then how many of those people converted into memberships. Like, those are probably the biggest numbers. The real nerds in the audience might say like, oh, well, like, shouldn't you know like XYZ additional numbers and blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, like maybe sometimes they can be useful, but I would argue that if you had these data points, you're going to be able to make all of the business decisions that you need to make based on those data points when it comes to your marketing efforts. Okay. Now, operationally, things I recommend that you know, you want to know your running member count. Like, that's always a good thing to have. Do I think it's the most important number? Absolutely not. Big one that it sort of like makes me want to gouge out my ears every time somebody doesn't know this, right? It's just like, I'm hurting so much for you. You've got to know your monthly churn rate. Right. So you've got to have churn as a big number on the operational scoreboard. It is infinitely easier to grow a gym, grow any business really, if you're at 2% churn than it is at 8% churn, right? If you've got 100 members and you're at 8% churn, that means you've got to add in 8 new members every single month just to stay in the same place, right? If you're at 2% churn, you only got to add 2. So if you added 8 to that business that's at 2% churn, now you're plus 6 every single month, right? Like, the math just completely changes. We've got to know what our churn rate is. Other stuff I want to know, I think this is a good one to have. It's not like as simple as the others, but I really want to know what our low attending members are, right? I think most good booking and billing softwares have this available to them at this point. But to me in a gym, I don't know if there's a better leading indicator for churn than low attending members. If churn is like arguably the top KPI outside of the P&L, which we'll talk about in a second. If churn is one of the most important numbers in the business, I also want to know what a good leading indicator would be to help me sort of circumvent that number, help me improve that number over time. And I think low attending members, I don't know if you've got a fight on this, Dave, is one of the best ways to do it. This is like old Thomas Plummer data. Members who attend, it's like 50% of the people who attend less than 8 times in a given month will be gone in the next 6 months, was his old data point. I think it's just a great way to get out ahead of trying to get those people back in the door so that they don't exit the business completely when they've been lower attending. You got any fight on the low attending members? Like, is there a better number that I missed there?
That's the exact number I would use, again, as a plumber disciple. But yeah, I think that's one of those things. It's like easy to do, easy not to do. And the folks who do it, I think it's a measurable improvement in churn. It's like kind of a no-brainer, very intuitive that would work. but can fall by the wayside as one of the many tasks that maybe doesn't move the needle. I think it's worth doing.
Yeah. The next one would be just your P&L, right? You've got to do a P&L, your profit and loss monthly. If you don't know what that is, get a freaking good local accountant. Make sure they're providing you with a P&L every single month. Look at the P&L, look at the numbers that jump out at you. Bonus points if you get somebody that can help you interpret that data, right? We want to see at least 20% profitability, ideally in service businesses. If it's not that, like, you should probably talk to somebody who can help you, all right? Might be those handsome fellows over at GMM, but you got to know your P&L. If you don't know your numbers, if you don't know what your freaking profit is on a monthly basis, like that's probably not a good thing. Yeah. And then finally, I think bonus points for MRR, right? So I think one of my favorite metrics in business is if you can get your MRR higher than your monthly burn, right? Ideally, just where my MRR is monthly recurring revenue. I'm sorry if that was like unclear. So this is your member numbers times multiplied by your ARM. Okay, your average revenue per month per member. Again, most booking and billing softwares are going to be able to have this for you, where you can just track that. Because like I care a lot less about your number of members than I do what your MRR is, right? Your MRR is the money that's actually coming in every single month. And if we can get that MRR number to where it's higher than your expenses every month, ideally where it's hitting your profitability goals every month, then that means theoretically, again, before accounting for churn, you're hitting your numbers before you even press go on a given month, right? That brings the stress level down so much. And if you can see that number go up over time, it's a really like motivating, powerful way to make sure your business is increasing in health over time, that you're not just relying on big paid in fulls to hit your targets every month. You're not relying on things that tend to be less stable, like supplement sales or challenge sales, things like that. Like I really want to see the MRR of these gyms go up over time. That's one of the things that we work on the most, right? That we try to help our gym owners with the most. So bonus points or MRR. If you know those things, so that's like a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. I didn't mention 30 and 60-day cash. We do want to see that on the marketing front, right? We want to see the cash return on our spend. That was a really bad miss by me, missing the note there. So it's like 6 numbers on the marketing front, and then churn, low attending members, P&L, MRR I think is more important than active member count. Everyone's going to know their active member count. That's like 5 really simple metrics that you can get, with the help of your accountant, with the help of your booking and billing software, that will help you be just a more adult, confident gym owner. Because once you know the numbers and you know what the data is telling you, like now you can make strategic decisions to improve said data, which is going to make your business better, right? Fun stuff. Good on that one, Dave?
All right. Love it. Hit us with number 9.
Number 9, you price based on the urinal or on your gut feelings and not based on the math, right? This is one of the biggest mistakes that we see rookie gym owners making, and oftentimes not so rookie gym owners making. In fact, we see it so often that we made it, was it one of the first episodes we published? Like it was in those first like 3 to 5 things that we even talked about. But let me put it this way. If you are pricing, you say, what the hell do you mean peeking the urinal? This is the first one I've listened to. If you are pricing based on looking around, so for maybe the female listeners, when sometimes guys go to the bathroom, there's these urinals, and you go to the urinal, and if you're Dave, you peek over to see what the other guy's playing with on the other side. Okay, oh wow, that's an impressive item you have there. But pricing based on that is probably an even worse idea than peeking in the urinal at the random guy that you are standing next to, because you got checkmated, right? And the only urinal to walk into was one where you had to stand next to somebody. Looking around at what the rest of the market is charging, and then, okay, they're charging this. I'm going to charge a little bit above, a little bit below. Maybe I'll price the same depending on my confidence level, is one of the, I want to say, dumbest, but dumbest is not the word. It's one of the worst things that you could do for your business. And I understand the idea behind it, right? When I was first pricing my gym, I didn't know all of this math stuff. I didn't know business strategy. So I did exactly what I'm telling you not to do now, and my business suffered for it. What we want to do is price intelligently based on the math of our business, the model that we're putting together, et cetera, et cetera. And it's a much deeper topic than I want to dive into here. We've got a whole video on it with like a companion spreadsheet guide to help you figure out, okay, what's the minimum amount I should be charging? Go check out that episode for number 9. But if you priced based on guessing or based on even a guru that told you, oh, small group personal training, you need to be charging at least this amount a month, that guru might be right, but they also might not, right? If they did not look at your math, they did not look at your numbers, they did not look at your model, the capacity you have per session, et cetera, they could very well be wrong. And you at least want to spot check that and make sure that you're priced intelligently for the business model that you have set up. Go check out that episode for this one, but it is absolutely one of the top mistakes we see rookie gym owners and struggling gym owners make. And now, we good? More you want to unpack there?
That was excellent. We'll also put a link not only to the episode, but to an accompanying blog post that lays out pricing and urinal-based pricing and all those things. So enjoy that. And now, moving on to number 10 in our list.
This was going to hurt. This one's going to hurt. One of the biggest mistakes that we see rookie gym owners make, particularly the struggling ones, is they are too proud. Their egos are too big to actually get good at anything. They've got a fixed mindset, right? They have this, it's interesting, right? Because at this point, I'm sure I've talked to thousands of gym owners at this point in my life, and I can always tell when there's somebody that's like, they've got their entire identity wrapped up in some of these stories that they're telling themselves, basically about themselves or about their business, you're going to have a bad time, right? So if you're constantly telling yourself, oh, like I'm the best closer of all time, like you just come in, you just set them up and I'll put them down, what have you. Like I've seen struggling gym owners that will literally sit there and look at, like this happened in real life. We had somebody who quite literally, and this was years ago. So we only had whatever, it was somewhere probably 150 clients or so, but we're working with about 150 gyms at this point. And this gym owner was closing at literally the lowest closing rate of anyone in our gym ecosystem. He was like at a 40% close rate. And for us, like pretty solid is like a 70% close rate. And this is on us working with like 99% of the gyms we work with are small group premium personal training gyms, where it's like their price points are typically a minimum of about $300 a month when folks are working with us. So that wasn't the explainer. This guy and his team was doing a terrible job at the closing, but because his identity was so tied up in this like ego, like I'm the best closer of all time, like it's not a sales problem, yada yada yada, I don't care what the data says, like it never got any better, right? Like that guy could probably be a super successful gym owner if he could just like relieve himself of the ego and take a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset, right? Like you might be pretty good at closing right now, but because you've got this identity sort of tied up to the attributes that you currently have, and by challenging those attributes, you are challenging your very freaking soul, right? Like you are challenging your true self, the picture that you are trying to paint yourself in. You won't look at it. And it sucks and it's hard and it's tough work. Like none of us like to look in the mirror, right? It's much more comfortable to look out the window when it's something that's like not going great in the business. But some quotes that may resonate, right? That may hit a little close to home. It's like, oh, I'm the best trainer in the area, right? I know I'm the best trainer in the area. Like I know everything there is to know about training, right? You may be super knowledgeable. You may know a lot. You may have studied a lot. Is there a chance that there might be something you can learn? Maybe you're a great trainer in, you were really great at working in your private strength conditioning stuff. You got the athletes that you were working with great results. Now you're moving into adult fitness and it's a different model, a different level of mindset, a different type of person that you're working with. Gosh, like it's no secret that, or I shouldn't say it's not a secret because it probably is to the listeners that are listening to this, but like it's no shock to me that some of our most successful gym clients are often like they're going to visit each other to learn, like, what are you doing with your model? Let me pick up a little nugget about what you're doing to make your service better. Like those guys in Jersey, like they get visited all the time, whether it's Baker or Pratt, I shouldn't put that on blast. Maybe they should start charging for it and doing some consulting shit. But a lot of our members are visiting each other just to see, because they don't have the ego tied to what their service is. What they are looking for is not, how do I find evidence to tell myself that we're the best of all time so I can make myself feel better? They're looking at ways to actually get better, not feel better. And so they are saying, hey, there might be something I can learn from this person, a little nugget that I can take to make our service a little bit better, our experience a little bit better, our gym, our operation, like the efficiency, whatever it is, a little bit better. And that's why their business continues to improve, because they have a growth mindset. They don't let somebody else doing something a little bit better or something that they have an opportunity to learn and improve on kill their ego, right? Make them feel like shit about themselves. So I'm the best trainer in the area. We give our clients a better experience than anyone. We've got the best coaching and community. Like, maybe you do, maybe you don't, right? Maybe someone out there has some ideas, some experience that might make your stuff even better. Because when you got the fixed mindset, dude, like, you're stuck. You are not improving. You are stuck, and where you are now is where you're forever going to be. And for some of you that are struggling in the gym business, like, that's not a great spot. And the only way to get through that spot is not by some crazy marketing tactic or doing a reactivation campaign. It's by dropping the freaking ego and figuring out where you can get better and get help. Another one that's fun. Nobody can do this better than I can. And that's a tougher one. That's it can express itself maybe in a different vein. Maybe I'm more patient with that one because it's something that I have to deal with even now at times, where you think, gosh, like, I just don't know if anyone else can do like this little piece of the business better than I can. And the fact is, let's say you guys have gotten through a lot of these other ones. I don't worry about being the best salesperson. I've got a great growth mindset when it comes to that. I'm not worried about my service. I've got a great growth mindset when it comes to that. And you're starting to get some success because you've dropped the ego, gotten help, etc. But then you get to the point where, oh gosh, if I'm going to grow, if this business is going to grow, I've got to find other people that can do these jobs. And you let it be this belief in your head, well, nobody else can market the way I can. Nobody else can train my clients, work with my clients the way I can. Nobody else can, maybe you've gotten past that, you've got other trainers. Nobody else can train my trainers the way I can. Right? And if you stay there, then just by the very nature of being stuck doing whatever those roles, whatever those jobs are, unless you hire out everything else that your business has to do to continue to grow and scale, like, you're going to be stuck there, right? So getting help, getting coaching, visiting other gyms in the area, networking with other gyms, like, these things are the things that the most successful people in the industry are doing to get better over time and not stay stuck, using freaking COVID as an excuse when it's really just like, no, your product hasn't improved in the 10 years since you opened. COVID was an excuse for your clients to leave, and it's an excuse for you to feel better about your gym doing really, really shitty, and you wrestling with the idea of closing down every single month. Sorry. Is that fun?
The mirror is always harder than the window, but it'll get you to where you want to go and help you achieve your dreams. Number 11 is potentially the most, if you violate this one, I don't know. Are you going to make it? I don't know. But number 11, I would recommend you consider.
Yeah, number 11 is a fun one. Number 11 is the bonus point. Like, the rookie mistake, the biggest mistake rookie gym owners are making. You're not working with GMM, you beautiful bastards, right? So if you want to help with your numbers, if you need automation for your CRM so you're not leaving leads on red, you're following up quickly, maybe you need AI bots to call and follow up with your leads. At some point, we'll do a video demo on that because it's freaking ridiculous at this stage. You're not doing reactivation campaigns. Maybe you want some sales coaching. You want some help. You want to be able to network with other gym owners that are seeing the success that you want to see in a business model like yours. then yeah, like get all the fun marketing stuff off your plate and strategize with this with someone who's been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Like you probably want to consider working with GMM, right? You should at least explore it because all you have to do, book a super duper high pressure call. Number one, we only make an offer to 30-40% of the gym owners that we talk to. So it is literally the opposite of a high pressure scenario. If it's not a fit, if we don't think we can help you, like we'll just tell you because I don't want to take your money if you're going to end up canceling in a month and be annoying to work with. So that's like probably a fun thing. Number two, the offer that we have is a free 30-day trial. The only catch is you pay for your ad spend, you pay for your usage of the phone system. If you want to use it, you can bring your own line. We won't charge you for it. If you do that, 30 days. Completely on the house, full growth partner package. So there's like literally no excuse. If you're considering, hey, I want to grow my gym, I want to get this thing moving in the right direction, I want a business model that makes sense, I want some of this stuff off my plate so I can focus on the things that I want to focus on or that I need to focus on if I'm going to scale up this gym and get to wherever your magical pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is, then yeah, you should book a stinking call with GMM. Jokes aside, I'm biased, but I think it's a pretty good idea for the gym owners that want to grow. So there we go, Dave. 11 things in 11 minutes. I think it was slightly longer than that. What else? Any closing thoughts or what have you for our beautiful, dear listeners?
Check the links in the description to book a call, see related episodes, and send us a DM with any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions. We'll see you next time.